when I watch this back before I share it, I'm going to hate the fact that you can see the top of the steering wheel, but I've just been wrangling with the phone holder for like 10 minutes, and I just can't be asked to keep going. So like I say, you don't come for the production values, you come for the tip-top reviews and insights. So I'm here to talk today about a new film called Where the Crawdads Sing, and this is based on a very successful novel which I have not read, and it has been made by Reese Witherspoon's, that's her, Reese Witherspoon's production company, which is called Hello Sunshine, and she strives to make films with women scriptwriters, female directors, female-led casts, which is great. So this film ticks all of those boxes. It's based on a novel by a woman. The screenplay was written by a woman. It was directed by a woman, and it stars a woman. And the woman in question in the lead role is Britain's own Daisy Edgar-Jones. Most people will know her as the female lead in Normal People, the adaptation of Sally Rooney's book that everyone watched during the first lockdown, and everyone went, "Oh, it's got a lot of sex in it, hasn't it?" Which I haven't seen. I've read the book, audiobook, but I haven't actually watched it. I think I should. Daisy Edgar-Jones is great. So I've now seen her in this, and I saw her in Fresh on Disney Plus, where she starred opposite Sebastian Stan. That's sort of like a horror comedy thriller thing. So I've seen her in a few things, and she's very different in all of them, but she's also very good in all of them. So she plays Kaya, or Catherine Clark, better known as Marsh Girl. And the reason she's known as Marsh Girl is because she grew up in the marsh. We are in Carolina. It's the 60s, and what we find out through a flashback is the fact that basically her whole family abandoned her for various reasons, and from the age of about 10, 12, 13, she's on her own, and she has to cook for herself and fend for herself and get money for herself, and which is a terrifying, awful situation. And the story is about a crime that's been committed. She is accused of murder. This is not spoilers, this is all fairly obvious from the trailer. So she finds herself on trial for murder of a young man who lives in the town where she's from, a man she was romantically involved with, and it's a did she do it? But it's about more than that. It's about relationships. It's about her relationship with the marsh itself. It's about her relationship with the townspeople who have rejected and reviled her because they didn't understand her. That sort of narrow-minded, I was going to say deep south thing, but to be fair, like, you find narrow-minded people everywhere. And this is 1969, and her only real friends, the only people who've really looked out for her, are a black couple who own the sort of little local store. So she's not exactly highly thought of. And yeah, she's accused of murdering this guy Chase, who fell from a fire tower in the marsh or on the marshland. Did she do it? It's good. It's not great. It's a bit melodramatic. Now, my companion this afternoon, because I wasn't by myself for once, my lovely friend Jane came with me, and she has read the book. And she said to me the book is a lot darker, and it goes a lot more into the domestic violence element of the story, how dark the marshlands are, because this film, excuse me, face hugger. What's a video review without a yawn and a bit of steering wheel in shot? This makes the marshland actually look quite beautiful. And there's a strong thing about Kaya, like, drawing the creatures of the marshlands, and that's all a thing in the plot. And Jane said to me that in the book it's a lot darker, it's a lot more sinister. They talk about how murky the marsh is, how easy it is to disappear. And that this version didn't really do that. It felt quite melodramatic. It's not to say, it's like I say, it is good. she is incredible in the central performance, and I'm just excited to watch what she continues to do. We've got some really cracking younger British actresses at the minute who are coming up. So we've got like Florence Pugh, who's obviously been in Marvel stuff. She's coming up in Don't Worry Darling. I first saw her in Fighting With My Family, which is great. Then we've got the likes of Daisy Edgar-Jones, who's done some BBC TV stuff and who's done this Disney Plus film with Sebastian Stan, and then she's in this, and she's in pretty much every scene, and she's very, very watchable. She's very beautiful as well, but that's not the point. She's a great actress. Somebody like Lashana Lynch, who was in the most recent Bond film. Just some really interesting actresses coming from these parts at the moment. And even if they are playing American characters, I'm always like, hee hee, they're British. So yeah, she's very good. I have to talk about a lawyer because somebody in the town decides to defend her, because obviously she's in need of a lawyer, and the lawyer is played by David Strathairn, and I love David Strathairn. I just said to Jane as we came out the cinema, I don't think I've ever seen a performance from him that I didn't enjoy. Like, even if the film he was in wasn't great, he is always great, and he just has the most wonderful voice. So listening to him doing courtroom speeches took me back to a couple of weeks ago. I saw a version of To Kill a Mockingbird in London with Rafe Spall playing Atticus Finch, and it was an Aaron Sorkin adaptation. Like, it was absolutely a bit of me, and just hearing somebody make impassioned courtroom speeches but not showy, you know, there wasn't a lot of shouting and a lot of this is outrageous and Your Honour and sustained and speculation. It was very measured and calm, and he's just got such a lovely voice. So yeah, it's all right. If you've read the book, I don't know if that will affect it. Jane enjoyed it as well, but said it wasn't as good as the book. I haven't read the book, so I'm just like, it was all right. Will I now read the book now that I know what happens? Possibly not. But it is worth a watch. It looks great, lovely cinematography. I enjoyed the script and everything, the direction, the performances. It was a nice way to spend 2 hours on a Sunday afternoon, but it wasn't like earth-shattering, but it was good, watchable. Yeah, done. That's it. Until next time. Don't know what's next, but whatever I see, I will obviously be sure to tell you all about it. For now, Katie out.